Everybody's trying to write blog posts these days. You might have spent a lot of time crafting your post only to have a reader hardly glance through, then quickly navigate to another site. For marketing affiliates, it takes a lot more than a few smooth lines to lure in readers. That being said, a solid blog post can be a gold mine of activity. More traffic means more sales, but the art of the blog post has grown pretty complex. Don't worry, here at Nichehacks, we've got you covered. I'm Vitaliy. I ran Nichehacks.com, where we provide tons of free information about money making and marketing. And in today's video, I am going to break down 4 blog post hacks that are sure to send sales skyrocketing. Interested? Keep watching. As always, before we jump right in, I'd like to remind you to like, comment, and subscribe. And I know how important is that bell button. Notifications help you to stay up to date on all the latest marketing trends and tips from Nichehacks. Without further ado, let's jump into this. I'll start with number 4. Plan your blog post out. Okay, first off, it's important to understand that you may not become a blog writing machine overnight. Improving the quality of your posts take time, but with these proving hacks, you might find yourself reading on a fast track forward, skyrocketing sales. Creating an overall plan for your blog posts will help you slowly strengthen your skills until you get to a point where you're a pro. You want to take a look at the overall blog. Remind yourself what you're trying to accomplish with the posts and how they're meant to drive people to your product or business. Go ahead and jot those ideas down. Create an outline or do whatever you have to do to keep your focus on these big ideas. Some of the most seasoned bloggers use calendars. They'll go so far as to plan out an entire month of blog posts in advance on when and what they'll be posting about. This allows them to structure their content and lead readers from one blog to the next as they get hooked in. Within these blog calendars, the pros will often include the title, which is entirely focused on something their audience would be interested in, as well as subheading to hook people in. You want to apply that same overall planning to each individual blog as well. Every blog post should be written somewhat similarly. While they may be on widely different topics regarding your product or business, they should each follow a certain pattern. That consistency is going to increase the number of people who come back to the site. Humans are naturally more comfortable digesting content that they are familiar with. It's the same reason successful sitcoms on television revolve around the same locations and characters. Developing this structural pattern in your blog post is not only going to help you write posts faster, but it will give you a template to work out so you can sharpen up your skills. This is the kind of hack that's a quick fix if you look at the broader picture. But keep in mind that it still takes time. Of course, it will help you to reach the kind of massive traffic and numbers and conversions to sales as compared to some who won't organize their blog posts at all and simply write them on the fly. Next up, we've got number 3, Longtail Keywords. You've certainly heard of regular keywords and the power they can have at diverting site traffic your way. Clearly, they are definitely helpful, but this hack takes that idea and brings it to the next level. If you haven't heard of Longtail Keywords, they are basically like regular keywords, except they are phrases instead of singular words. While regular keywords have a sort of bang effect, which creates massive spikes in site traffic, long-tail keywords will bring less people, but alternatively, bring the right people to your blog. Employing long-tail keywords allows you to grab the attention of users who are more likely to be interested in your blog. Let's break it down now. Because they are longer and slightly more specific, they'll help weed out anyone who you don't have a chance at selling to. In short, long-tail keywords tend to have a much higher conversion value, which means more sales. The best bloggers are using long-tail keywords over regular keywords because these phrases can easily be built into blog posts, which of course are longer than a simple headline or title. For example, if your target audience types in smartphones, they'll get billions of results. But if they type in iPhone 10, those results may drop down to millions. You are effectively increasing your chances of getting traffic from site users who are already specifically looking for your product. Feel free to Google around and maybe even build a word bank of long-tail keywords related to your content. This killer hack is sure to drive up sales as you build up the kind of traffic that wants to buy into your business or product. Number 2, writing apps and tools. Even the sharpest scribes knows that there's still always more to learn when it comes to writing. While all of these hacks can be employed pretty much instantly and start generating results, improving your writing scarf is a long-term game. Don't be intimidated though. These days, there are tons of different writing applications and other devices to help strengthen your writing. And let us remind you that the blog writing itself is extremely important. The difference between a conversion and someone just glancing through might be a clunky sentence or just boring writing. At worst, poorly written blogs can appear unprofessional and actually drive business away. You want to make sure that all of your blogs are proofread, engaging, and hook the readers in. This magic can only come from a well-structured post with beautifully crafted sentences, visual language, and a strong command of grammar and syntax. Here at Nichehacks, we highly recommend writing apps like the Hemingway Editor and Grammarly as you strengthen your own writing. Keep in mind too that these are just machines. They'll never be able to bring the passion and voice you may have for your ideas and business. They are also not perfect. So while they can be great guides and an easy tool from your chest of devices, don't rely on them for everything. And number 1, don't write an essay. For many people, entrepreneurs included, the style of writing they've done the most were probably college essays. This form of writing is often long form and can be tedious. Of course, this isn't how you want to write a blog. Your audience wants information quickly. If you write titles that hint at offering solutions to their problems, your reader is going to want it immediately. Always keep things brief and get to the point as fast as you possibly can. It's important to distinguish that print writing is nothing like online writing. Remember these key rules. Use short paragraphs. Rhythm determines what's next. The fact of the matter is, readers online are going so fast from site to site, you simply can't win them all. You're not going to get every pair of eyes looked in from the first sentence. That doesn't mean that you're out of the game if you use this hack. If you're being brief, assume that some people will simply skim. This is where style comes in to help draw a skimming reader's attention. Maybe you'll create hyperlinks out of words that are especially important. You can also use bolded words to keep the reader's eyes moving. This tactic should also be employed in the headline. Use font size to draw readers from the biggest words, such as in your title, to your regular size font in the body of your post. By the end of a reader's lightning speed skim, they'll be surprised to realize they understand what the blog post was about. These readers may go back to learn more information. Regardless, it keeps them interesting and interacting and drives more sales. The absolute best blog writers are skilled and take a lot of time to craft compelling and interesting posts. That being said, they understand that more than half of all readers are simply skimming through. Still, they don't let this bother them. And that's the key. Instead, these pros play to their advantages. They create posts that are even easier to skim than normal while still providing value. Making it easier for the reader is always going to boost traffic and in effect boost your scales like crazy. But that's all for today's 4 blog post hack that skyrocket sales. Let's do a quick breakdown of these ideas. 1. Plan out your blog post in advance. 2. Use long-tail keywords. 3. Use writing apps and other tools. And 4. Always write in an online format. This has been Vitaliy here at Nichehacks, giving you all the marketing affiliate tips and tricks you need. And guys, don't forget the first step on your way to success. It's action. In fact, if you want to learn more, you can take a little action by hitting that like button and leaving a comment, and of course subscribing for more marketing content. I'll see you guys next time.